This is my old mustache.
Remember your other one where you look like an old man Mario?
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. You look like your dad.
Yeah.
On this episode of Art of the Short, Lil Shorty, Bethers reads you a story where we examine the world through cake. Yes, you're a piece of cake, I'm a piece of cake, we're all made of cake. But is that so bad? In a miserable, anxiety-riddled world, maybe being someone's piece of cake isn't too bad after all.
We'd like to remind you that all episodes of Art of the Short contain explicit content, and that a link to this week's short story will be provided in the show notes just for you.
Art of the Short is an interactive literary art installation. Our Lil Shorty episodes feature stories by you. Yes, we'll read a short story written by you. And, of course, we'll make art of our interpretations.
Join the conversation. Send us your artwork to add to the gallery. To learn how, go to artoftheshort.com and follow the installation on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Art of the Short to see what others think of this short story through their art.
Hi, it's our first Lil Shorty of season 2.
Welcome to Lil Shorty Hour. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah.
Let me see those pearly whites. give me a smile.
My pearly whites?
Yeah.
They're not that good. I had sugar like right before I met you, and you know when you get like sweater
Little
teeth?
Chrissy.
Yeah. I've had like a couple real sugar highs, and I'm someone who never has sugar.
Have you been like running around on the countertops looking for boxes of candy?
I've been like bouncing off the walls. I've been real annoying. Real annoying. But anyways, hi.
Hi, Jori.
How are you feeling about your art for our first Lil Shorty?
I think, wow, what a moment. What a moment. We were given a real opportunity here.
What a moment.
I think we had to really make the most of this.
Yes.
And I want to say that I rose to the challenge, I'd say. I would say I met the moment. Yeah.
I can't wait.
What about you?
I'm not trying to like be a copycat.
Okay.
But I kind of feel the same way. For me, did something way outside my box.
Personally,
For me, I did something way outside my box.
same. I brought something that I've not brought.
I'm excited to show you.
It's a debut.
Yeah, it was fun. High risk, high reward. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Because I was like, this might completely flop.
Same.
And guess what? To be continued.
Same. I feel like it didn't flop, but there's a little room for flop. We'll see how it's received.
We'll see what you think.
Same.
Okay, I'm so stoked. I'm excited. All right, well, let's get into it.
Okay, I'm going to read you a story. Jori.
I'm ready.
First story of the season.
First story of the season.
You take a rest. You take a load off.
Oh, this is my favorite.
It's story time.
I don't have to have sweaty armpits
No.
for this one. Like, I get to be entertained.
No, dry as the Sahara. Okay, dry as the Gobi.
I thought you said dry. I thought you were going to say dry ass pits, but you went like dry.
Sahara.
Dry as the Sahara, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. This week's short story is by neurodivergent slam poet, writer, and literary critic J.B. Stone. J.B.'s work has appeared in Chicago Review of Books, Bull, Rejection Letters, and Flash Fiction magazine, just to name a few. Oh, and this self-proclaimed wannabe witch has a chapbook out this year through Bottle Cap Press, which we totally recommend checking out. And if you want to know more about JB, go follow his socials at JB_StoneTruth.
Featured on Atlas and Alice, this is Suddenly by J.B. Stone. Everything was cake. And everything I thought wouldn't be cake was cake. I thought it was a nightmare of unknown origin tattooed to my psyche, but no. Now everything I knew, know now, and will ever know for the rest of my days, cake. The pair of Converse stacked tightly next to my closet was marbled marzipan, and the worn-out shoelaces dangling from each end, black licorice, of course. The basketball over by the stairwell, the one that felt unmovable by even the slightest breeze, was a spun sugar sphere, blanketed in orange creamsicle icing with chocolate chip imprints. The stairwell was an 18-foot-tall caramel cake, each step a cookie crumb molding in disguise. As for my entire apartment, I could take the sharpest edge of the chisel, cut open the drywall, only to find out it was more cake than cock, only to find my walls were filled with more double fudge and marshmallow frosting than plaster and plywood. Cake doesn't talk. It just sits there looking delicious. But what happens when no one eats it? Does it become something else? Does it become someone else? My mother's best friend and go-to salon partner, at least when I wasn't in town, Julia Salinaro, was a bright yet boisterous family friend who spoke at speeds fast enough to break the sound barrier with a tone louder than an orchestra of lit dynamite. Was she cake? Could cake evolve into someone with such range, such personality? When my cat Jasmine passed away, I never wondered if she was cake. But I do now. One composed of factory-processed tuna and abandoned animal parts. Maybe her orange fur was something composed of super thin fruit strips to add a sweet balance to the fishy taste smothered inside her taffy skeleton. Maybe the milky white saucer in her eyes was just that. Milk. And her, expired dairy, left to curdle. If she turned out to be cake when the vet pronounced her dead, it doesn't change how much I loved her. It doesn't change the fact that this was the closest I would get to having and losing a child in my lifetime. I now wonder if my great-grandmother on her deathbed was just untouched cake, a leftover dessert, from a la carte to a la sentient, a highly decorated pastry evolved into a life form with pixie stick limbs and peanut-brittle blood vessels, all held together until the vanilla ice cream in her body melted, until her gumdrop eyes crackled. She was silent most of my life knowing her. Maybe her vocal cords were never shuttered by time, but never existed at all. I now must ask myself the obvious, and maybe should have asked this sooner. Am I just cake too and don't know it? Is the yellowing of my once pearl cream teeth just butter seeping out? Is my head just one giant gummy topping for a body that is nothing more than cake? When we die and our corpses are stuffed into morgues, are they really facilities used to examine our insides? Or just Dairy Queen depositories? Are we all just cake waiting to be cut open? Maybe I'll know someday. Maybe God isn't just some invisible hand, but an invisible hand with an invisible knife, held by an invisible schlub who is just getting over the worst breakup of their life and, like myself on many occasions, is just looking for some comfort food to keep them going. If my death brings this kind of solace, to be devoured by a God who's more miserable than I am, more prone to anxiety attacks than I am, more isolated to a support system than I am, then I'm cool with being cake.
Art of the short. Art of the short. Art of the Lil Shorty short.
Little shorties.
Wow.
I don't know. I feel so heartwarmed. I feel
so yes,
like I want to give a loving embrace, you know?
Yeah, totally. We're both going to say that we love this story.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yes.
JB, I wanted to share, I had just had Dairy Queen yesterday.
I haven't had Dairy Queen since I think probably high school was the last time I went to Dairy Queen. I loved the lightheartedness of this piece, but Don't be fooled.
But then it takes a
Don't
turn.
be fooled by the candy cake covered
It takes a turn.
words that you're hearing.
You know?
What JB is asking, in my opinion, is, what is life?
Mm-hmm.
Why are we here? It's so existential and
It's
like
an existential crisis moment.
deep thinking.
I'm into it. I'm into it. I'm into it.
I can like talk about that shit forever. Forever. The last paragraph when he's talking about God having an invisible knife, and then he's like, am I just this person that has to be fucking plagued with fucking anxiety and like without a support system? And it's like,
Yeah.
perfect.
I know. I do just want to give like a friendly hug of solidarity and support.
Perfect ending.
I love like the leveling of cat, grandmother, self, cake,
100%.
cake,
100%.
Like, I can't get enough of it. I can't get enough.
This author is also a slam poet, which I think is very reflective in their writing.
Every turn of phrase is like written for the sound of it.
Totally. And I personally love reading that type of literature. Like, I like a rhythm. I like alliteration. I
also like taffy skeleton because like we want skeletons to be hard and solid, and we need our bones to be unbreakable, and then to call them taffy.
Yeah.
Jarring. I am so excited to see your art, Jori.
I was just going to say
I'm like
the
on
same
pins and
thing.
needles. I can't wait to see it.
I'm taken aback so much. I can't breathe.
She can't look away, you guys. She's looking away from her phone.
No, I am so happy
She
now.
can't look down. She's like in shock.
I am so happy right now.
Oh my God, now you're making me sweat.
If you did not know, I am so happy right now.
She is just taken aback. She's holding her hand over her heart.
But this is the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I know. It's really cute.
I'm going to try to tell you what it's made of, and I don't know if I can.
Yeah, give it a shot.
I'm looking at this little figure.
It's titled Self-Portrait.
Even better.
I know.
So it's like a stick figure form. It has a licorice body, red licorice, thank you. And they're probably like little 1-inch or 2-inch little schnapps, licorice snaps. It's either a cookie or a dried apricot.
It is a
little cookie?
Donut biscuit.
A donut biscuit head. And then it has 2 brown like Whoppers maybe?
Chocolate covered pomegranate seeds.
Well, I would have never fucking
Very
guessed
bougie.
that. Yeah. What the fuck? I am sorry.
Save it.
To my eye, it looks like little chewy gummies. So it looks like little curls around the top part of the head. And then a little half ring for the smile. And it's adorable.
Oh my God, isn't that the cutest little thing?
I want to keep it in my pocket. Okay, well, tell me about it.
Well, I mean, as we said at the top, like, this was an opportunity. This was a moment. Like, were we going to do it? Were we going to make a self-portrait with candy?
Yes.
And I said, let me see. Let me see. It might be a complete disaster, but it wasn't.
I think
Ultimately,
we know that it is not.
It was so cute. So the hair and the mouth are actually cereal.
Beautifully done.
Like multicolor kind of cereal rings.
Yeah.
I got red licorice sticks. I got like one leftover donut from a dinner party that I've been carrying around in a bag.
So funny. Let me just wrap this up.
Yeah, I was
Thanks for dinner. I'm just going to put this in my bag.
Pack up those donuts.
So good.
But listen, it turned out it was for art.
It was for
Little
art.
did I know at the time, it was for art.
It was. So you're saying it was maybe not for art when you took those donuts?
Well, you know.
It's perfection.
Yay!
It is perfection. And I love that your thinking was to make a self-portrait out of candy because open the art.
Oh. Dear listener, I have a video here. It is scored by some strings, some very dramatic strings you just heard in the background.
As you can hear.
And it is Jori and me as our little cartoon characters in our new season 2 digs. No big deal. We're on like a white background that may be frosting ?
Mm-hmm.
And like our images are there, and then all of a sudden, chomp, 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 I'm gone. I'm disappeared. And then there seems to be some sort of cake texture under the frosting.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So I baked a cake.
Okay.
And I do not bake. That is definitely a box cake. I was like, well, fuck. What kind of cake am I?
How did you get us on that cake?
It was kind of a process. And I didn't get the right kind of frosting. And I was like, fuck, this isn't going to work.
What do you mean? It's just like the kind in the tub, right?
I thought it was going to be gel, and it was like thick frosting.
You needed the gel.
Yep. I took parchment paper, put it over printed out versions of us, took the regular frosting and like a toothpick and traced our little outline and then put it in the freezer. You're supposed to freeze it overnight.
Okay.
I baked a cake this morning, and then you just like transfer the top.
The little decal, kind of.
But this is not very exciting sounding. It didn't really work. It was like 50% of the...
I mean, Jori is missing a leg, but I look pretty good.
I'm missing like 2 legs. You turned out better because I did the frosting of you second, so I got like the feel of how to do it a little bit better. I was thinking like I want someone to feel like they're smoking a cigarette and watching like a French film. And that's why my teeth feel all gross, because I've had sugar today.
Oh, you did say you had sugar teeth. It's for art.
So funny. But that's my cake. I'm funfetti, I guess.
JB, look what you've done. JB, look what you've done.
I mean,
look at us.
We made likenesses of ourselves in sweets.
We sure did. Because at the end of the day, what if we're all just cake?
What kind of cake are you?
What kind of cake are you?
I mean, I'm funfetti, obviously.
Are you asking me? I thought you were asking the reader.
Oh, no, I'm asking you. What kind of cake are you?
Oh, I'm like a lemon poppy seed. Lemon poppy seed with like a cream cheese frosting.
Yeah, totally. Listener, what kind of cake are you?
What kind of cake are you?
Let us know. Let us know what kind of cake you are.
What kind of cake are you?
Again, JB Stone, thank you so much for letting us read your story.
We loved.
It was hearty. It was a hearty treat.
We loved, we lived, we snacked. Creme de la creme.
Creme de la fucking creme.
On the next episode of Art of the Short, we'll be reading The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe.
Ooh.
As always, a free link to the short story is in our show notes for you.
We want to see your art. We want to hear your thoughts on these short stories. So please, please, please join the conversation and send us your artwork. To learn how, go to artoftheshort.com and follow the installation on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. At Art of the Short.
Twitter. Tweet. This is a fun one for you to submit art, dear reader, because you saw what we got up to.
When we post it, they're going to be like, did I like follow like a baking feed? Like, what am I looking at?
I love it.
I love it, and I love you, and good night.
Until next time. Bye.
I didn't want to like film me eating the cake because that was a little too like
intimate.
You know what I mean? Like it's a little too sweet, too much.
Yeah.
It's like filming my toes or something.